Hey guys, welcome back. Oh, blooper. Hey, not in the house. Welcome back to Ashley's Homestead Adventures. Kids will be kids. We're starting out in the kitchen this morning. It is my day off, and I have some bread to get started. As always, on my day off, I bake bread for the farm stand, and then I also have some seeds that I've saved that I need to get packaged up. We have seeds from a Cave City, Arkansas watermelon that a beautiful viewer of mine saved for me and brought to me, and I got them all cleaned up and ready to store. And then we also have seeds that I saved from a fig off of my fig tree, which is a Miss Figgy, a dwarf variety of a fig tree. And I took one fig and took all the seeds I could get out of her, get out of it, and got them all cleaned up and ready to store. And we're gonna try to grow our own fig trees. I don't know how successful we're gonna be, but who knows? So I've got to get those packaged up and then get some bread started. We're going to start a discard loaf, a sourdough white sandwich discard loaf. So I use sourdough discard for this loaf, and then I use instant yeast. So it is not the sourdough yeast in this is not what makes it rise. It's the instant yeast. But it does still have a bit of a sourdough flavor because it has the discard in it. And then I'm also going to feed my sourdough starter to start a sourdough loaf sometime this afternoon. We've been having some fairly cool weather, which has been a blessing for north central Arkansas in August. We've had 80s. And so not complaining about that at all, but we'll see how long it takes for Cheeky to rise to half or to double and be ready to make a loaf of bread. So I'm just gonna set you guys up and get these little tasks done in the kitchen this morning, and then we'll head out on the farm. The watermelon seeds are incredibly easy. I mean, they're large. They're watermelon seeds. These are little Miss Figgy seeds on a quartered paper towel. So that is how tiny they are. So I'm not sure. Okay. Isn't that incredible, you guys? So I hold in my hand the seeds of maybe, I'm gonna say maybe a half a watermelon, right? That half a watermelon potentially could not only grow dozens and dozens of watermelons, hundreds of pounds of food in my garden, but I could take this little bag of seeds and I could share it with people, and it could grow dozens and hundreds of pounds of food for several people. That right here in the palm of my hand. If that doesn't feel like power, I don't know what does. And I'm not I'm not out to live my life to feel powerful. It's what I'm saying is that this right here makes me feel like I could do great things. This right here in my hand, this little tiny package of seeds can do great things and feed hundreds of meals worth of food. That is so cool to me. Okay, I'm gonna try to figure out how I'm gonna get these little teeny tiny seeds into a bag without wasting any. So I have a lot of very new subscribers, and I want to take a second to say welcome to all of you and explain a little bit about myself. I am Ashley. This is Ashley's Homestead Adventures, and I am a 40-year-old woman who has a wonderful husband who we call Mr. Wonderful on this channel. And I am basically following a farm dream. So I spent a third of my life in Colorado. I was born and raised in Colorado. And then I moved to Oregon and found my wonderful husband. And we have been married for 16 years, and we recently in really, I would say 2000, we'll just say 15-ish, 2015, 2016, we knew that we wanted to move out of Oregon. And we started our search, and we looked all over, and we finally landed on that we wanted to be in the Ozarks of Arkansas, and that is kind of how we ended up here. And I do joke that it's a God thing of how we ended up in the little tiny town that we ended up in, because we really liked the city of Mountain Home, but for whatever reason, that was not God's plan. And every time we would go to look at a place there, it wouldn't work out until we finally got to a point to where the market was getting away from us. So we needed to make a decision. We needed to decide on something. We needed to get to Arkansas. And so therefore we decided to broaden our search and expand, possibly having to drive further to work. And so that's how we ended up here on this little slice of heaven that is only 5 acres. It is, some of you have called it a mini farm. Some of you have called it a hobby farm, especially now that we have a lot of horses and not so many meat animals. I brought my sheep with me. If you're new here, we had sheep and we did lambing. There are videos of lambing last spring. We lambed here and I did full videos of them. But we put about 120, 140 pounds of lamb in the freezer this last fall, and decided that with the horses and with our situation, with my husband still working in Oregon in the summer times and me running the farm by myself in the summertime, that it was best to lay off a little bit on the lamb. And so we got rid of our sheep. So now the only meat animals that we have are Billie Jean, our heifer, and chickens. We're growing chickens. And then of course we have the horses, and I have been a horsey girl my entire life. I had my first horse when I was 2, and Miss Velvet actually came with me from Colorado to Oregon, and then Oregon to here. Miss Velvet's been with me for 27 years, and she is the last of my rodeo days, I call it. I used to barrel race, and so I am a horsey girl, and we do have the horses, and we do recognize that as far as it being a homestead, you know, horses really are not, they are like the worst homestead animal. They take a lot and they give nothing back besides joy. But I'm okay with that. I also have 5 dogs, and I'm a dog groomer. That is my career. That is how I make my money. I do not make money yet on YouTube. I hope to someday, but I also have 5 dogs, and that's not necessary either, except for the fact that they bring me joy. So I believe that there's importance in things that bring us joy. And I basically started this channel to be inspirational and to create a sense of community, to be a part of the movement of homesteaders all across the world in the United States that are trying to bring growing our own food back to light, and bring the backyard garden and the homestead kitchen, canning, preserving our food, growing our own food, animal husbandry, and voting not to go to the grocery store for every little thing that we need. Trying to grow what we can and do what we can. And also just to be a place of rest and entertainment for people to go to. I find great joy in the people that are recovering from a back surgery that can't do anything and can't have a garden, but they watch my channel because I do have a garden, and because I'm silly, and because I show the bloopers. And it gives them entertainment and somewhere to go to rest and recover. I do have very strong beliefs. I do have very strong opinions, but for the most part, that's not why I'm here for you. I'm here for you, to support you and to inspire you to do the dang thing, whatever it is that it may be. If it's just getting backyard chickens so that you can have fresh eggs, do it. If it's starting a sourdough starter, do it. If it's saving seeds, do it. If it's foraging for persimmons or blackberries or blueberries or elderberries, do it. I'm just here to encourage, inspire, and to bring a little bit of rest and relaxation into your home and into your life and into your heart. I'm not here to tell anybody that they're doing anything right or wrong. And I hope that someday in my comment section we can have hundreds and thousands of comments of people that feel the same way, that will encourage each other and give each other ideas and leave the judgment at the door. Because all in all, the world can be overwhelming. It can be scary. Life can be hard, but life can also be beautiful. And one of the ways that life becomes more bearable is to surround ourselves with a community that encourages us and loves us. So I'm here to tell you that I am happy and proud to be a part of your community. And thank you for allowing me into your home and your heart, and for watching my videos and getting whatever it is that you get from them. Whether it's education, whether it's just a laugh. I hope that it's a positive experience for you, and I hope to see you here a lot. You're always welcome. Let's get back to the work part of it, because I'm not getting anything done and I got chores to do. I think I have a plan. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. It worked. Yellow funnel for the win. Look at that, you guys. Is that not exciting? All right, let's see if I can get it full page for you guys. I try to always get you guys the full page so you can screenshot it if you like. This is what we are making right now. Sourdough discard white sandwich bread. $250 grams of water. $500 grams all-purpose flour. Okay, shaggy dough. Okay, cover it up for 30 minutes. Okay, those of you who do not know Cheeky, this is Cheeky, my sourdough starter. I started her in 2021, started her myself. Off of a very simple recipe that I got off of Facebook one day and decided to give it a whirl, and the rest is history. So we need to feed Cheeky. Long story short, you are going to take your sourdough starter. I'm going to take Cheeky and I'm going to divide her in half. Then I am going to take the weight of that half and I'm going to feed it with the same weight of flour and water. Now, I feed mine about 50% wheat flour and 50% white flour. Some people like to feed their starters rye, but basically it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So if I have 50 grams of sourdough starter, I'm going to divide it in half, so I have 25 grams of sourdough starter. The other 25 is going to go into this discard jar that we just used to make that loaf. I'm going to add 25 grams of flour and 25 grams of water to my 25 grams of starter, and then your starter is fed. $290 grams. Okay, I ended up with 118 grams left in my bowl. $118. Mix it up. One of the things that you guys will notice when I'm working with sourdough, a lot of times you're going to hear the water running in the background. There's a reason for that. Sourdough turns into concrete. Your starter, your discard, it all turns into concrete, and many people will tell you do not put it down your sink. It is a drain clogger, and so I don't put bulk amounts of it down my sink. But what I do is I leave the water running. Like if I have a jar, like that jar that just had a little bit left over in it, I let the water run until the faucet turns off. I have an automatic faucet, and so I let it run for a while to let the hot water run all, you know, and dilute all of the discard and the sourdough starter. So just keep that in mind. We are not supposed to be putting sourdough starter down our sink pipes, because it does. Once you start working with sourdough starter, and you realize that if you were to leave, like for instance what's on that spoon, if I were to just set that in the sink dry, it's not coming off. You have got to soak it before it will come off. It turns into concrete. Okay, we will leave Cheeky out and let her get happy. Looks like I need to go to the grocery store, which is for me today is going to be the shop, because I buy all of my stuff in bulk, and so I believe that I have 50-pound bags of flour in the freezer that I need to go get and get them out, because this flour bucket is empty. So I'm gonna go see if I have another flour bucket. If I don't, then I've got to go get some out of the freezer. Okay, it does not appear that any of my storage buckets in here hold flour, so I went ahead and grabbed an empty one. We get these, as you can see, from Tractor Supply. These are food grade buckets with gamma lids. Okay, and just like that, I have got flour back in the house storage. Okay, now that we have that indoor kitchen stuff done, I am headed out to put the ponies out. It is a nice day. We have had 2 days of rain here, so they have been locked up inside in their stalls, and so they're going to be excited to go out, and I want to get them out so they can enjoy a whole day. It's going to be another glorious day. We're supposed to have cloud cover almost all day. I did not bring you guys out here because I don't have 14 hands when I came out to get my flour, but here is my flour freezer, and so as you can see, there's 3 bags of flour in there right now still. That's after the bag of flour I took out. Good morning, chillers. How are we this morning? Looks like you guys need some fresh water. I need some fresh food. Look at how big you're getting already. You're only a week old. Let's get you some water and food. Oh my word. Why the jumping? Why the jumping and jiving? It's just water. Oh my goodness. You guys are getting mighty big. I always stop there first on my way through to the barn. I always stop and check the babies first. They're the youngest things that we have on the farm, the most fragile, and so therefore I'm walking right by them, so I check them. So now we're walking out to the barn to put the horses out. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Let's go outside, shall we? Let's turn all the fans off. And yes, we all ready to go out? Okay. Good morning. blowy and fartsy and bucky and kicky. Feels good to be outside. Oh, he's trouble. There's no two ways about it. He's trouble. Oh, Grace, come on. Yeah. Well, looks like I got some fence to fix. And you're just standing there eating grass like you didn't just create a whole bunch of commotion. Everybody's all fired up and I got fences to fix. And this is why every time I run to Tractor Supply, I get an extra one of these. They broke 2 with that little escapade that they did. But everybody is back where they're supposed to be, happily grazing like nothing ever happened. And our timer for our bread has gone off. So let's go in and do that. Washed first here. Whew. Okay, we've been sitting for longer than 30 minutes now. And the dough has been allowed to absorb some of that flour and kind of incorporate into a dough. Now we're going to add the butter, the sugar, the yeast, and the salt. $60 grams of butter, 20 grams of sugar, 10 grams of salt, which also happens to be 1/2 of a tablespoon, 7 grams of instant yeast. Lock 6 minutes. All right, there it is. Slapping the sides of the bowl. That tells us it's done. Cover it up and let it sit and rest and rise for an hour. Okay, so while we're waiting for that bread to rise and do its thing, I need to mow, and so I'm gonna, in order to mow, I need fuel. So my mower's out of gas, or almost out of gas. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get fuel, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a feed store run. And I've told you guys before, but in case you're new and you don't know, I have like 5 different feed stores that I go to. So I'm actually gonna go to the next town over and hit up their feed store for some of the feeds that I need from them and get some fuel, and then come back and mow, as well as continue to, work on bread throughout the day. But I'm headed to town for just a short feed store run. Look at how big your baby's getting, Mama. Look at how big you're getting. You're getting so big. Oh, and you're feisty. Oh, are you gonna be a big bad hunter just like your mommy? Huh? Yes. Feed store hunter. Oh, you're so big. Big and bad. Big and bad. Yes. Oh man, he is so cute, but he did not get loaded up in the truck. I don't need another cat, but he's cute. Back home, the bread alarm is going off. is what they look like now. All puffy, stringy. It's good when our dough is stringy like that. Those are strands of gluten. Some days I find I work it more than other days. Some days I feel like I'm totally okay with the rustic look, and then other days it's like I want it to be a little bit more formal. I don't know. I don't really find that it makes a difference in the loaf. Like it might look prettier when it comes out of the oven. It will look less rustic, like less wrinkly or lumpy. But I don't find that it changes the texture or the flavor at all. This bread is very consistent, very much the same every time I make it. Bring this back over here, set it on the oven, and cover it back up for another hour. And now I'll go out and mow. We are all mowed. Look at how tall the tomatoes are getting, you guys. So now that the farm is all cleaned up, and I can, access everything easily. Of course, it's not super tidy because everything needs to be string trimmed, but a girl can only do so much. And now I am in desperate need of a shower, but our alarm has gone off, so I will go in and wash my hands really good and get that bread in the oven, and then I'll jump in the shower. Before I continue on my day. It's always a dirty job mowing, and I have a really old 1998 Craftsman mower, so I tend to come out looking a little bit like a dust ball when it's all over with, and that's okay. That's one thing this girl don't mind, is a little bit of dirt. Ooh, she's ready too. How much Cheeky has grown. She hasn't grown to her full double capacity yet, but she's looking bubbly. Well, so much for no rain. Pop-up thunderstorm, and I got feed in the back of my truck. Holy cannoli. Are the kids okay? Oh yeah, they're enjoying it. Well, can't think of anything better to make on a rainy day than a nice loaf of bread. I am in my chair with my comforter and my chihuahua editing this video, And just wanted to tell you guys again, thank you so much for letting me put myself in a glass house, a glass farm, and a glass barn and come into your living rooms and your lives and your hearts. I appreciate each and every one of you every time that you come and visit and watch my movies. And of course, I appreciate, you know, the likes, the subscribes, and all of those other things that help boost my channel. I hope you guys have a great day. Yours truly.